And it's realizing that the only person who's unhappy is you, and why are you unhappy? Like, learn to be present and learn to enjoy the ups and the downs, and failure's a part of growing too, and not to beat yourself up. And
taking responsibility for your mental state, really, because, and then being mindful of that responsibility, which is where I always fail. Like, because like the whole kind of Buddhist mindfulness thing, where you're always conscious. Like, I have to consciously tell myself to be that way, or I fall out, and then I emotionally react to something, or feel anxious, or get stressed.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Gym Owners Growth Zone podcast. I'm your host, Andres Escobar, and I'm so ready to get into this episode and share the conversation I had with our two guests, Jodi and Thad. Jodi has a master's of education with military experience, and Thad is a fitness professional with 19 years of military service and emphasizes the connection between health and happiness. They both co-own Fit Body Boot Camps studios and enjoy playing sports and pursuing personal interests. You can find out more information about them at palmbeachfitbody.com. If this is your first time listening to their podcast and you like what you're hearing, go ahead and follow us on your favorite platform. We appreciate your support and are truly thankful for it. Also, when you're listening to the show and you think of a friend, do them a favor, share it with them because sharing is caring and it's just a nice thing to do. My last simple request is, since we are new, we need ratings and reviews. We would greatly appreciate it, and it would help us reach a wider audience by leaving your feedback. By the way, if you have any other comments or feedback, feel free to connect directly to me on Instagram at MeetEsco. And I'd love to hear any suggestions or feedback you want to share with me. You can also find me on LinkedIn at Andres Escobar, the number one. Now, as we dive into Jodi and Thad's episode today, I'm really intrigued to get your opinions and your thoughts about what Jodi and Thad are going to share with us. So let's go ahead and jump in and listen to our conversation. Hey, Thad and Jodi, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate you taking the time out of your day, especially in the beautiful land of Costa Rica that you guys are coming in. So I want to just start out and talk a little bit about your story, like how you guys get started and like what brought you into this world of fitness that is before us, right?
well, Thad and I met in college, and he was in the National Guard, which paid for a school, and that was kind of my first introduction to the military. And me being on financial aid, I decided that I would join the National Guard to finish out the rest of my school. And that's kind of, I mean, we always kept fit, I would say, in college, but being in the military is really what like honed in on your health and like making sure that you are still strong and agile. They sent us to Iraq, so I spent about a year there, and then when we got back, Thad and I took a vacation to Costa Rica, and we fell in love with it and decided to make it home. We were adventurous, so that, and it's easy to stay fit out here because there's so much to do, and it's warm year round, and lots of different landscapes to trudge around on. And so that was how we got started here in Costa Rica. And then in 2006, we made it home, right? 2006?
We decided we moved here completely, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, in context, it was after basically 2 years of separation, accidental separation, because I decided I was going to move to Kuwait and become a security contractor before the war popped off.
And this is not, you guys were both, by the way, you guys were both in the military, right?
I was technically still in on the reserve status, but I
Got it.
became a private contractor, and then I was over there for a year, and just as I was coming home, Jodi gets deployment orders for Iraq for 15 months. So,
Yeah.
So then I think it kept me sane. I continued contracting through all that in Afghanistan and some other countries, and then we met up after 2 years, and we were like, let's go to Costa Rica. And I think in the context of all that, it was just such an easy sell for us, just let's get out. I'm staying here. I'm just for mental health too. I think a little bit too.
That's good. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And just to back up too, like I grew up an athlete. I had a lot of siblings as well. We had a huge yard. I bought a trampoline. We had basketball courts, a swimming pool. So we were always active. I always joined every sport imaginable because I wanted out of the house. And at an early age, I realized that I was playing on the boys basketball team because we didn't have a girls team. My mom had a
Nice.
bunch of books. And so I started reading about sports nutrition and how to just up my game so I could perform better than my opponents. And that's what really got my wheels turning about performance, the human body, and nutrition. And, I was on a weightlifting program for the basketball team and nutrition protocols as well. So it was kind of my own guinea pig. And it kind of got me on the path of people noticing and asking if I would design plans for them. And so that's kind of what got me going in that direction. And then
How
when
old
I was
were
in-
you, by the way, when you first designed a plan for somebody else? I'd like to know that.
Oh, well, just basically being a teenager doing it for my siblings, probably around
God.
like 13, 14-year-old. And I didn't know what I was doing. I was playing around like, this is what works for me. I find this sets, these work. This is based on the book I read. So I was just kind of dabbling in it. And then when we were in Iraq, other soldiers would ask me to create programs for them. And I started reading books a little bit more in depth on how to program properly for
you
what their
totally
goals were.
nerded out
I
after
did.
Iraq.
Oh, that's
Like,
so cool.
You got totally into it, and you came back pretty jacked too. I remember.
Yeah.
Just chugging whey protein all day and lifting.
There's not much
You
to
literally
do.
can't
Your
gain
only
weight.
downtime is like recreational lifting, working out.
It's 115 degrees out.
You can't, guys. You can't gain weight over there. Honestly, you sweat off every. By the way, I was in Kuwait myself, in the Air Force, and 6 months tour. But man, no, it's you. You have a lot of downtime. Yeah, but it sucks because you're away from your family. But it's like what are you gonna do? And Jodi did what the right thing to do is like focus on and geeking out on. Like she's literally a fitness geek. Like that's her thing. I love it. And obviously she's where she's supposed to be. She's planted and she's got roots and growing and she's doing some great work on that side. I love it. And so that kind of, and Thad, and you've seen that you kind of caught onto that fire caught onto you. And so tell us a little bit about that. Like how did that come together but because you guys met remind us over here, did you guys meet in overseas in theater?
No, we met in college, just at
college.
I like to say a sticky floor dive bar,
Okay,
at a pool table
yeah.
with one of my buddies. Just this places where everyone tells you probably shouldn't meet your wife. I met my wife of 21 years now.
21
So,
years, man.
Yeah,
Man,
actually here in 1 week, 21 years.
that's so cool, dude. Oh my
So,
gosh. Congrats.
And I've always been like a total science nerd, so the nutrition and fitness thing kind of fell into it, and then with my work, I mean, just the influence, the people I work with, fitness was a big thing, just to do my work. I spent a lot of time in Afghanistan, and I spent probably half the time away. I'd do a couple months, come back for a couple months, do a couple months, come back for a couple months, and it was just always like fitness was huge, and I had to pass a lot of qualifications just to keep my job too. So.
And when we met, Thad was a lot smaller, and he actually just through, I think, the downtime of being separated with his deployments, because he likes to geek out on white paper research. He just researched stuff, and he didn't have much to do in his downtime except lift and eat protein. And so he started putting it on mass every time he'd come back, and he was bigger. And he's like, man, I just lifted and eating more and following protocol.
Yeah, I was always fed pretty well.
It's discipline, guys, right? It just comes down to discipline. And in our businesses, we have to have some discipline, things that we don't want to do, but we just need to know we have to do it and stuff. So I love it.
And, I never thought I'd make fitness a career. It was always just a side hobby, something that I did to keep fit. And when Thad and we started preschool through high school, and the parents of our school were always asking me for routines and working out. And can I work out with you, Jodi? Can you build me a plan? So that just kind of eventually morphed into me starting the Train with Jodi site and training some of the parents that went to our school at our house at our little gym below. and like realizing like I really like this. Like, you know, I love education, I love teaching. That's what my master's is in. But I think the authority you have as a fitness professional goes way beyond what you have as an educator, unfortunately.
Wow.
And the
Yeah.
respect too. And people value your opinion. You're the authority. They'll do whatever you tell them to. Like, okay, if you say it, I'm gonna do it. And it's a lot of power and control you have. And with that, and I like we dig deep in the nutritional sciences and realizing that we can make such a difference in these moms and dads where they'll live longer, they won't be on medication, they pass it on to their kids. It's a really rewarding endeavor in itself.
And we've been through a lot of trends too. I mean,
Sure.
you were a vegetarian for a while, doing a hardcore zero-fat McDougall diet, to paleo, to super high fat, to carb backloading. You know, just all the old John Kiefer stuff. Just every little trend.
To slow training.
Yeah, super slow.
Dr. Doug McGill.
It's been. I think it's a journey for everyone.
Yeah,
Because
the trends are so true.
You always think you find the answer. I mean, no matter what it is, when you make a drastic change in your diet, you're like, man, I feel great that first couple weeks.
Yeah.
And then it always catches up to you though. You know, a few months down the road, maybe 6 months to a year down the road. You know, some people who do vegetarian will find deficiencies for 2-3 years. You know, and they're like, oh man. It's just.
And then through 2 pregnancies and being able to not really gain any weight and have really healthy kids started me on a path of, you know, pregnancy health too, and trying to coach moms pre and postnatal.
All the hormone whackness that happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, big time. Big time. My wife says, oh yeah, we should have another after our second. And I was like, yeah. She actually became a surrogate. And I was like, are you sure about this? And so she's like, yeah. Pregnancy was awesome. It was the same. She was like, no, I don't think it was easy. And I'm the one that had the baby.
Yeah. You
It's 9 months.
Forget all of those early years of no sleep.
Oh yeah, no, it's interesting. So that actually talking about trends and stuff makes me think about, what are you guys excited about right now? Like, what's going on in your world that you guys are like, you know what? Is it the Fit Body Boot Camp? What is it that's really getting you guys out of bed? You know?
I think for me personally, it's been a really long, hard journey of just me with my head down constantly and not having much time for my family. And for me personally, I struggle with the work-life balance. Like I have none. And so being in a position now where I don't have to be in any of my locations is phenomenal. I get to work from home, but still my head's down all the time. So we've moved to the path of hiring virtual admins that are taking over currently for all of my tasks. So the thing I'm most excited about is having my business run without me having to open the computer, you know, just to kind of check on things here and there and then go live my life. So it's a big, huge stage for me personally and for the family too, because they'll get to hang out with me more often and I get to be with them.
Yeah.
So purpose, right? I mean, what I'm hearing is, you know, your purpose changes through different stages, and it's very, you know, now it's like, okay, what is my purpose? What am I doing? Well, my family, right? We talked about making that impact into your family that you have right now. But, you know, I also think about, I visited one of your clubs, met at the Delray Club, and I think you are a person of impact and influence inside of those worlds and those each locations. You know, they look at you as like, you don't just talk the talk, Jodi, you walk the walk. And your fitness all throughout. And Thad, I want to understand how you guys work together, because we just had a podcast show of husband and wife working together, and you know, I would love to hear maybe some challenges you guys have, because I'll tell you what, I've worked with my wife before and I've had challenges. Like, she's a realtor and I was in finances and mortgages 20 years ago, and that was not fun when we had a deal together.
Well, it has to be something you're passionate about, and not to diss the mortgage or finance industry, but I think few people have the same type of passion they have for, maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm totally being pretty judgmental, but
no, percentages. You're talking to the masses, right? We're yeah, 100%. I hear you, for sure.
And one thing I'm passionate about, I mean, we're in our 40s now, so I'm passionate about time with the kids.
Yeah.
You know, it's like what's more valuable than that? Getting ourselves to a point where we're not stressed out, we're not anxious, we're spending time with our kids, we're able to take time off. Because when your nose is to the grindstone, number one, you can't run your business optimally. You know, you can't see over the trenches unless you're on the cavalry horse. You know, you got to get out of there and get on your horse,
Right.
And let some other people do the fighting. And
But Thad and I had so much fun at the beginning.
Oh, it was awesome.
He did all of our video editing. We had a ball, and he would do all of our marketing, all of our ads.
all the opening of the locations, total like just working like I felt like Elvis Presley sometimes, minus the drugs. But yeah, lots of caffeine and lots of lack of sleep. Just wake up, you go, you sleep, you wake up. Oh, we're opening another location. It's like, oh, we're opening another location.
And then he'd get me 200 people, captive audience, to sign up for our opening challenges. And you don't understand like the feeling you get when you have 200 people sitting there, and then the next day they bring all their friends. You got to listen to this girl. Like, she's going to change your life. And it's meaningful where you actually have an audience to listen to what you have to say. And they try to do what you say too, which is the best part. And you coach them on it. And like, it was phenomenal. It was exciting. But of course, being in South Florida, it's a tough market. Everything we do correct. You know, personally, I think we were awesome owners, awesome leaders. We had awesome teams. And it's just a market that's very fickle.
She's
and it's
confident.
hard to stick with. I am confident. You know, my goal as a leader is to do nothing. Like, that's my ultimate goal. You know, and when everything's executed perfectly by my teams or to the best of their ability, my goal is to look up and out for vision, not down and in, to manage and micromanage. I hate that. They come to me with problems. I was just telling Thad yesterday, I want to do this. Like Jocko says, shoot, go away. You go figure it out, and you tell me how you want to handle it. I'm not going to give you the easy button answer. Like, because he reminds me that's what they use me for. Jody, I can't figure out this. I go do it for him. Like, I'm the easy button. Instead, I've been trying to turn it around to them and tell them, you go do it. You know, my goal is to do nothing. Like, I don't want to be your easy button. And so that's kind of the way we're trying to head towards anyway.
Well, you reminded me of one of our core values, and one of our core values is we figure it out, right? And so, and in an extent, that can be taken the wrong way, because that means you never help me. No. Listen, if you can't figure it out in 10, 15 minutes, then it's probably not in your wheelhouse, and you probably need to ask somebody, but it's not always the owner, but you need to ask somebody to help, because we're a team and we all work together. And so that concept sometimes is like, well, I want to be like the guy that did it or the girl that did it, and then hooray, I figured it out myself. But it took you 3 hours to figure it out. You wasted time, right? Yeah. So it's just, I love that concept, and sometimes people don't get and being as business owners as we sometimes this is like a great vehicle to improve ourselves, improve the people around us, and become better people and make an impact on the world. So what I'm getting is what you guys are excited about is really, you know, going in and all in on your families and allowing your team, your businesses, to kind of run themselves and kind of give like a little ownership interest to your team, your staff. Is that what I'm hearing?
Definitely. And
awesome.
What makes our locations function without us right now is a great staff.
Right.
We've got good leaders in place who've been with us since we opened. Like, our staff is 5-6 years old. They've been with us. The core of them anyway that run it, and it's pretty good for the fitness industry to stick that long. Wow. We've only been open 6 years.
Yeah. Also the entire Fit Body Bootcamp thing was kind of, it wasn't intentional. We moved to Florida for my work. Uncle Sam wanted me stateside. They weren't a fan of my foreign status, right. So I said I'll move back for a year. I'll get all this stuff cleared up, and then we'll just move right back.
So I was like, I'll just do some personal training while we're here for a little bit, get some clients.
She found an awesome job at probably the top resort in Palm Beach Island, the Breakers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Breakers salary, but at the same time, what you realized, you were going to be a slave.
Yeah, I was going to, yeah.
And like just
all day long.
That clientele is not easy to please.
we saw Bedros Keuilian, his Fit Body Bootcamp. We're like, they had a great veterans discount on the franchise fee. We're like, well, why not? Let's do it. And then we said, well, let's open 3, and then we'll move back to Costa Rica and run them remotely.
Wait, you
And
opened 3 at the same time?
no, we opened 1, and then the next year open another one, and then the next year we open another one. And then our goal was
Pretty
to,
cool.
so we kind of got stuck in Florida, but I mean stuck in a good way. And then we did that, and then COVID set us back about 2 years from getting back here.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, and you were in Florida, and Florida was one of the states there were open sooner than anyone else.
we lucked out being in
lucked
Florida.
out there. Yeah, that's all cool.
It just cut all our locations in half, and it took about a year and a half, and we're still like just getting over, you know.
Yeah, hit to hit. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. For sure. No, it makes sense. And you know, this is actually this great lead wave to the question I have for you guys. You know, in life, it's a roller coaster. Business is no different, right? And so tell us about the things that you guys use to keep you guys on track, because this becomes like the we talked about discipline earlier, and what is it that helped you kind of stay through those, like on the boat and or on the roller coaster to getting to where you need to go to, right? Does that question make sense? I don't know.
Yeah. I
Okay,
mean,
cool.
from my perspective, I never thought we had a choice really. Like I understand there's a point where you grind and you got to throw in the towel, but I always felt like we could figure out a way to pull through. You know, we always figured out ways to give ourselves hope. The next
I
new
like
thing, I mean, and for sure in the COVID struggle, the government funding saved us. You know, but it was.
And there's been times like Thad's even questioned it, and I won't let it go. I'm like, I love that. Like, this is the best career I've ever had, and you know, I've had many, and this is by far the most phenomenal. And it makes not only me feel good, but the world. I get to employ people who have the same mind and heart, and actually give them a salary, or in this industry, which is a grinding industry. And my goal is to provide them with everything they need, so they don't feel like they have to go get another job or leave the industry. And that takes some grind on our part to make sure everything's profitable. And I think the biggest eye-opener for me was hiring a business coach, because I don't know what I don't know. And so they can take that outside look and say, you need to do this, this, and this. And I'm like, oh, never thought of that. That's genius. So just having that outside perspective has really upped our game, too. FitBody does a good job of giving us resources, and they provide us with coaches, but it's still having someone outside of all of that look in and say, this is what you should do. So that's really helped us stay on track and on point. And of course, just seeing other people do it and us realizing like if they can do it, we can do it too. We just got to figure out what works for our area.
Yeah. Question. So, and I'm not a business coach or any of the respects. So sometimes I like to think so, because businesses need some coaching. Like I need the knowledge that we give them. But what is one thing that made you say, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and try the business coach. Like, what was something that made you think about, I'm going to do that?
It was that we're always looking for the next thing, and that was the next thing in line, and we need somebody basically, I don't know how to put it, gave us some hope.
Yeah, that could help us
So
tighten up
I
stuff.
can help you. I mean, we've
Train the
tried.
team.
I mean, it's like you throwing darts at a board. One of them's going to hit where you want it, and we've thrown a lot of darts. But I'm feeling pretty good about things right now.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like almost being a parent with, you know, a staff that's been with you over 5 years, and you hang out together, you know, their family, we love each other, we're great friends. And it's like me continually need to tell them stuff. It doesn't get done. And I just feel like you reach a point where you have an outside person come in and regulate, and she helps to basically train them, give them new perspective on things. Even if it's the same thing I said, she'll say it a different way, and it falls better with them. So it's just having that outside voice too of this is what you guys need to do, not just me telling them.
So
It's like me teaching our son to play guitar versus hiring an outside teacher. Way better idea.
Yeah, much better idea. Even if you know how to play guitar, it's still, you know, they're going to hear it.
It's your dad.
Yeah, dad is for this and this and this. Okay, well, what's going on here? Oh, God, I'm going to, no, it's different. It's different. But I definitely, you know, in the fitness industry, it's there's so many big issues that we that we have right now, what do you guys see as a something that can be improved right now that needs to be overcome, that we're having issues? There's so many issues in the world, by the way, right? I mean, we're not going to talk here about all the problems in the world, but just in the fitness industry, and which it can. I feel like this episode is about making impact. Like this is like you guys. I feel like you guys have made so much impact in the world that you're in. If you were to be able to say, hey, this has to change, what would it be?
You want me to go?
Sure, you say
Okay,
I got
okay.
this one.
The constant misperception and overprioritization of exercise versus nutrition, especially for short-term goals. So many people want to grind themselves to death in the gym. They view cardio, they view whatever they're doing. If it's not working cosmetically for them or aesthetically, then they just like they need to do more. They need to do more because they have this like thing in their head: energy in, energy out, body fat goes away, do more. When their true priority should be, staying active, but their priority should be what's going in their mouth. It's a lot easier to not eat a Snickers than it is to sit on a treadmill for an hour. It's like, and
For some.
yeah, but
Right,
people, but I
right.
mean, and
Right.
you can
That's what you
think
gotta
the way
realize.
that fitness is advertised in general, as everything from how to build muscle, what it takes to lose body fat, and so many negative things or wrong things are sold just in general fitness marketing, mostly because they're selling out for marketing. They're doing whatever makes the click and the sale as opposed to what's right. If someone's going to say, I'm going to give you a 30-minute thing you do twice a week and you're going to guarantee to lose your belly fat, 20 people click it, done. Whereas if the education isn't there, you're just wasting their time, but you made your buck, I guess.
But it's still the hardest thing to educate clients on because they think they pay you for your gym service. I'm like, you're paying us to lose this 15 pounds you wanted off. You need to sleep more. You need to eat this nutrition. You need to rest, let the cortisol go down, and don't work out so much. But they
Yeah.
feel like if they're not in there every day, they're not getting their money's worth. And like it's a reframing of like explaining to them, I'm selling you your life back. You don't have to be in the gym every day. It's not the way it works. And it is a hard sell because everyone's been indoctrinated with do more.
How about just the overall importance of having lean body mass? I mean, it's mind-blowing, especially in the female side of the fitness world, the lack of priority having lean muscle mass. And there's still that misconception that if you lift weights, you're going to turn into,
Arnold
Miss
Schwarzenegger.
Olympia.
Yeah, 3%, 4%, 5% body fat. Like that's
Yeah, and they're juiced out
ridiculous.
of their mind.
Zac Efron. Speaking of that, Zac Efron when he was in Baywatch, the movie, remember that with The Rock, and he says that he never wants to get to that physical fitness ever again, because he had to he would drink water and it he would show little chubs, and it's like that's ridiculous, and I love that people I've seen more things like, hey, this is a week of me working out and doing better things, and my body changes, it changes, it goes in different ebbs and flows. And obviously you guys work out, I work out. It's just our bodies are constantly changing, and what we put into it, the nutrition part is so important. I remember this one wristband said 80% of it is nutrition. The rest of it, is
That's it. Well, we say a similar thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And then the things nobody ever accounts for, which is sleep, prioritizing their sleep, resetting hormones, getting sunlight exposure, minimizing, light at night, like just simple things that can throw them off too, or just working with habits with them is a big part of our program.
yeah. Oh, habits. How about hobbies, right? Speaking about, you guys going outside, we just picked up pickleball, and you guys play pickleball?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess we're early retirement age, I guess, here in Florida. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, here it's popular.
Yeah, it's so popular right now. So
Yeah.
we play outside and we just love it. And I just, I'm wearing, sleeveless shirts or no shirt and getting that sunrise. But it's not a way to stay in shape, but it's just, keeping a healthy, not an image, but a healthy lifestyle, right? Talking about that healthy lifestyle is so important. And nutrition. And Jodi, I love what you said, that people pay us for the gym access, but they're really getting much more because it's not just the gym's not going to get it to them, right? You can't outwork a stupid diet.
Right.
You can't. You can't. So I love that. I love that. So good. Um, you know, obviously we've been able to overcome a lot of things in our lives. And is there something that stands out in your head on something that you were able to overcome, and like, how did you do it?
When I fired myself from marketing, I don't know.
That's not easy, right?
I, I used to run all the marketing for all the locations,
Yeah.
but I spent like half the year in war zones. Actually, up until just last year, I slowed down, and I was getting so stressed out and anxious because I would have my life there doing my thing, which was sometimes was very stressful. Sometimes I had downtime, but when I'd have to come back and set up a Facebook marketing campaign for 3 locations, I was literally like feeling the effects of stress. Like I had the, not gonna try to pull a badass card, but I had the combat zone stress going on, and that was doable. But then when I had to add the business stress on top of that, and in my off hours, I get back to my room and work for 3 hours at night. I never felt stressed like that before, where I couldn't sleep, my heart was racing. It was like it was affecting me physically, and I had to tell Jodi, I was like, Jodi, I can't do this anymore. I'm either gonna, number one, like quit or do something wrong, or I'm gonna drink myself into oblivion. And and I had to say, I got to give it away, and God, it was life changing. But then but that kind of got us on track to hiring out for certain tasks too. That was the
Right.
first big thing we said, okay, we'll pay you a bunch of money each month to do this for us. And it turned out to be, very useful and for our relationship too, you
Yeah.
know. And so, and I stepped back. I still handle like the background stuff, but Jodi does all the kind of the interaction with the team and the actual management side. I'll do accounting, website stuff,
Yeah.
handle all the other little background things now. So probably you asked earlier about the key to our working together as a couple. It's not something I suggest, but it might have just been that every couple months I was taken off. So every time I came back, it was brand new again, and here we are again. But that, you can't keep leaving nonstop. That was a lesson I learned.
Go is a beautiful word to hear when you're scoring on the soccer field. This last World Cup was won by Argentina because of one important player. Yeah, you got it. It was the goalie. He secured the win for the team, and in the same way, ReviewBiz platform will catch negative reviews before they go online. In addition, it helps you score and promote fresh new reviews so you can crush the competition. So don't let those big box gyms take your clients. ReviewBiz will help you build your online presence and turn your own members into your best sales reps. Get your first 5 reviews for only $1. All you got to do is go to reviewbiz.io/try to get started. I give it up to you guys. Being married in the military and running business is like, you guys, man, kudos big time, man. I actually left as soon as I got married. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to try this military life with my new wife. And obviously you guys are both out and running business, but now you guys get to the fruit of your labor, right? You get to enjoy the time away. You're able to step away to do a podcast with me. I appreciate that. Like, that's awesome. And hopefully, to me, this is fun. Like, I love just hanging out and talking things that of our lives that can help others, right? And I think that's one of the things we're here for, to help others and make an impact. And speaking of which, you guys have influencers and people in your life who have helped you guys Uh, is there any story you can share of somebody that would help you guys in becoming who you guys are, right? Because honestly, we're never gonna reach anything, right? Happiness. Joe DeSano was talking about happiness today, and I love it, right? Uh, if we're, and I can't do his justice. You guys have to look him up. Joe DeSana, happiness, and it's awesome. Little quick video he did on it, but like, who would be somebody that could share with us that helped you, pull you up, right? Because I think you guys are doing that for other people in your world, and I'd love to know who did that for you.
I think a pivotal one early on was probably Wayne Dyer. Like, we used to use
Wow.
him a lot for
The great
in the
late
day, yeah.
Wayne Dyer,
Just-
yeah.
getting back to, like, what is this life, and like, why are we here? Why
Yeah.
do we toil? Why are we struggling? Like, we make our own metrics, and when we fall short, we beat ourselves up. Like, your metrics need to change then. And it's realizing that the only person who's unhappy is you, and why are you unhappy? Like, learn to be present and learn to enjoy the ups and the downs, and failure's a part of growing too, and not to beat yourself up. And
Taking responsibility for your mental state, really, and then being mindful of that responsibility, which is where I always fail. Like, because like the whole kind of Buddhist mindfulness thing, where you're always conscious. Like, I have to consciously tell myself to be that way, or I fall out, and then I emotionally react to something, or feel anxious, or get stressed. And just talking with people about that whole conversation there is like liberating for me. Even right now, just talking about it, it reminds me, just being mindful.
Amen.
And I would say another one on top of that was when you mix the Wayne Dyer spiritually feel good stuff, and then you go to Simon Sinek, where you break down how dopamine works in your brain, how our reward centers work, and being conscious of that at the same time is, I think it adds another piece to it, a little more reality to it, and you realize, why am I depressed today? What's going on? I'm not sad about anything. What's going on? Is there something chemical going on? Was it because I drank last night? Was it because I ate horrible last night? What is it? And as opposed to just reacting to the feelings, you're actually trying to self-analyze a little bit.
And
Self-analyze. Love it.
one book that we read early on in our marriage, and I used in my internship program for fitness students, is The Four Agreements.
Yes. Yes.
Miguel Ruiz, and it's really helped kind of get a grasp on, why you do what you do and what's the most important.
Yeah.
And you're also made up of your history, of life circumstances that happen to you, and realizing you can feel empathy for somebody. You don't have to feel hatred. The reason they're yelling or shouting at you is because they're going through something. It's not about you, right? And teaching our kids too that, it's never about you. Don't get your feelings hurt. It's about them. Bring it back to them. Ask them, are they having a bad day? Something
Right.
happened? To not take things personally. I think that's the hardest thing to teach humans, because everything feels personal when really it's not. It's usually never about you.
Wow. Those are some
And-
nuggets there, guys. So, sorry, Thad, were you going to say something?
Nothing. I was just going to say, Jody puts me in check all the time.
And a headlock.
when I think everybody gets angry. Everybody loses it every now and then.
Yeah.
And Jody's like, what is going on in your head?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank God for our wives. I swear, God, He knew what He was doing when He put us together. I don't know what your beliefs are, but I know God put us together. It's just like, we don't have 21 years. We have 16 and a half. So it's
Nice.
been it's been fun. That year that she was a surrogate, it was the worst year of my life, but I'm able to appreciate, because I know what a bad year looks like. Almost losing my wife. It's just, and now it's like we're like on the best relationship that we've ever had. Like I feel like my best friend, but it takes time, right? And like
it does.
and like business, like how long you guys been in business? You guys 5 years, you said, right?
6 now.
Well, for
6?
fitness, we've opened businesses our entire marriage, but for Fit Body, it's been since 2016 was our opening day in May. Yeah, May 2016.
Before that was when we opened a private school here. That was fun. It's a good experience.
You have a
Thad ran
private school in
hot
Costa
sauce
Rica.
company.
We did. We did.
Oh,
We sold it.
nice.
We ran it for a few years, and then it was.
When I came down here, I started teaching high school English language arts at the International Christian School, and then
Nice.
I started the first high school girls basketball team there as well. And then we realized the gap in education was about 2 years behind grade level when they go back to their home country, which is to be expected because, again, they are speaking 2 languages, so there is that slowdown.
And you were pregnant.
Yeah.
Needed a place to send our kids.
And so we decided, let's get a U.S. accredited curriculum, bring it to the doorsteps here,
Wow.
Costa Rica, and then we just hired the local Costa Ricans for Estudio Sociales and Espanol, so they got Spanish and social studies for Costa Rica. And we had a PE teacher that did gardening and arts and crafts with them.
I did survival classes and stuff like that. It was fun.
And
Hikes.
and honestly, like thinking about it, like probably those kids, they learn English, and if they, invested more time into their English learning, they could now have jobs in the U.S. without having to be in the U.S. as a VA. It's like so cool. It's so cool. I love it. Oh, dude, the
Maybe we should
impact.
look up some of our old students.
Yeah, you should. They're probably on like Upwork or Fiverr. I love it. I love it. Oh man.
Yeah, we started a church here. We started a youth group. Thad started a hot sauce company.
Hot sauce. Oh, I love hot sauce.
Not
Awesome.
anymore. When we moved back to the U.S., I let it go.
Yeah.
That was-
It's a ravage. It sounds like because I know a lot of hot sauce. There's so many hot sauces.
yeah.
I can imagine. You think the fitness industry is hard. That hot sauce industry's gotta be tight.
It was fun. I just supplied restaurants around here, and
Cool.
I sold in a few shops. Got
Nice.
my brain going.
Nice. I love that. Yeah, guys. I definitely. We're almost towards the end. And I have one question. I don't know if I asked it already, but is there anything that stopped you or inhibited you from growing, and or there's something that you would invest more into that would help you grow faster? Because I think at the end of the day is that obviously we all want the quick fix, right? We all want to get get our body fat to a certain percentage. We all want to gain a certain goal in financially, but there's certain strategies and things that we did that got us there quicker. And so is there anything that comes to mind that say, oh, you know what, I would definitely invest in that and I would not do this? You don't have to answer both of those, but it's just at least one of those.
Are you talking about overall for business or individual fitness?
I would say for business, right? For business, yeah.
I think like a huge bottleneck for us was staff. We had to get rid of staff that we kept way too long. We shouldn't have. It's because of the relationship we build with them, and they're ruining our businesses. So we've revamped our incomplete hiring process. So they actually have to spend 3 months with us first. They meet the team. The team is very good in vetting people. And at the end, we let them know you're a good fit. We'll keep you on a little longer, or nope, say goodbye. You just had your three months of internship with us.
That's the downside of the family environment, though. That you
hard
just talked
to-
about fostering is
Yeah.
when you do that and you love these people and someone's been with you since day one, but they're not working anymore.
They're costing you money and your business money. The people that you're trying to rescue and save and help,
Yeah.
they don't like them. So
You hang on to them for too long, and yeah, we made a lot of mistakes like that. So I don't know if don't be too compassionate isn't the lesson we're looking for, but it's identify poison and get it out as quick as you can.
Yeah.
I
No,
mean,
for sure.
hire
makes
slowly,
sense.
fire quickly.
Maybe poison's not a nice. I
Hire
hate those
slowly,
words,
fire
poison,
quickly.
but
I love that.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the value bomb right there, big time. And because it wears on you, right? Because in your gut, you're like, yeah, this one's not really fitting the way it should be, and then you take longer to fire them, and it's like, oh, that was even harder. If you would just
Well, as humans, you just rationalize. You're like, okay, maybe they're bad at this, but they're really good at these things.
Yeah.
And so maybe we can train them how to be better at this, and they're just that's the thing that I've learned too, is you can't train someone to have a personality that you want. Like we hire for personality now,
Yeah.
not for their skills, because we can teach them skills, like
Right.
how to coach better, how to do certain lifts or the way we want them, but we can't train them how to have a good personality
Yeah.
and how to get along with people. And so that's something that we've really, really vetted for, is making sure that they're outgoing and they're personable and they know how to get along with people, and people seem to be a magnet to them.
Well, you know what? This reminds me of our core values again. Going back to that, and if it doesn't line up with our core values, it's like, all right, well, this is not it, right? And so in my mind, I'm thinking, is one of your core values, the coaches need to be coachable. If the coaches aren't coachable, then you've basically reached your potential, and there's nowhere for you to get better. So thank you so much. Go find some place else to go work. I don't know. What is, like, this is not a question that I had, but it's, what would be like a core value you would say that you would like to, for everybody to hear? Like, this is something we need to add to our
Empathy,
forte.
or just overall compassion for the clients.
Well, we have three. It's creating.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah, it's COA. So we have create an outstanding experience, open and honest communication, and add value to others. And with Thad and I, like, we always invest in the staff too. We're always sending them to trainings. Like, we let them, if they have a cert they want to get, we'll help them get it. Like, we want them always to be growing, because they can only take our clients as far as they take themselves. So I'm very big with them reading. They have a curriculum they'll follow for 12 weeks. And then they have another year and a half of things I want them to do for personal development, coaching style, and then also for exercise, physiology, nutrition. So they're always staying up on their game and knowing the next thing that's coming out, and also growing themselves. Because I make them run my location, so their head's down. They have a lot to do. They've got families and kids, so they don't spend a lot of time on personal development unless I make them do it, which is, it's going to be rewarding for them, but they know it's part of something they have to do for me as a boss. So that's kind of my way of slipping it in there and making sure they're always growing too.
Yeah,
But they love going to events and stuff, like the thing in Delray that Dustin ran. Like, they love that stuff. They love coming together and just hanging out.
That was so cool. Yeah, no, I definitely had fun there. It was so cool to meet everybody there. That's awesome.
But I think one thing that's really helped Thad and I, since we didn't know what we were doing when we first opened a fitness business, is systems. We had no systems. We just kind of threw things together and, like, well, let's see if it works. You know, we had no systems for anything. And if we could have had that when we started
200,
out,
200 members the day the door opened.
we're like, what do we do with them? I don't know. Let's just keep training them. How do we follow? We had, like, paper. Nothing was digital. We had all these files.
We had the stuff from Fit Body Boot Camp, but yeah, we didn't. There was a lot of stuff going together.
Well, it's like, you get that stuff. It's like they throw up on you and, like, okay, this is everything. Well, hold up a second. What is it? Let's take it piece by piece. What is the first thing? Right?
How do we make sure they don't fall through the cracks? So we had no systems. Like, we didn't know how many times a member was coming, how often they were there. Like, it was just
how much money we're actually making. I mean,
and it
That's
took us
funny,
a
yeah,
while
true.
to finally get really great systems in place.
and now our focus is retention.
Yeah.
Our retention rate.
Big time. Big time.
Florida's really rough on that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
so-
like we talked about. Yeah, they're fickle, and being with
It's
these.
just stuff. There's a bunch of competition. There's that hometown feel. Everyone's going here to there, next place. They're moving because properties are rising in Florida, so they're selling their homes, getting out of here. So everybody's just so transient. It's really hard. So the team and I are working on ways to overcome the attrition rate and get people to stay on.
Engage with them, yeah, for sure. It's super important to make sure you're connecting with them. You share with me a couple of automations you guys do, and make sure that the team's involved. And you can only do what you can do, right? I read the Serenity Prayer every day. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. I cannot change the transient Florida community, but the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom, right? You need the wisdom to know the difference. So I love it. All right, so we got to the last part of our show here, episode, and so I got 5 questions for you guys, quick, furious 5 questions here. No, you have to. However you guys answer, it's all good. It's like the buzzer. It's like Family Feud. Whoever gets to the first buzzer. I wish I had one of those. I could just send it over.
Yeah.
Buzzer. So, all right. First question is, who is an influential person, people in your business journey? And by the way, if you already answered it and you want to use that same answer, it's all good. Boom. But this is what allows us to kind of just have these down pat.
Jocko Willink.
Boom.
I think
Doctor Who? Who?
Jocko.
Oh,
Willink.
Jocko. Oh, yeah. Oh, Jocko's the man.
in our early days, Bedros was a real big influence.
He
too.
was, yeah.
Bedros Keuilian, the guy who started the Body Boot Camp. He had some just really solid advice. And Simon Sinek.
Simon Sinek. I love him. I mean, for building a community and a staff, I think it's evident that you guys subscribe to that. That's so cool. I love it. All right, next one. What's one thing you wish you had known when you began your business?
Systems.
Damn. See, I mean, I made them easy. I mean, like, I tried to kind of,
That probably has a different answer.
Go ahead, Thad. His systems and your systems too. Right? Oh man. All right, next one. It's what's a book, blog, podcast? It doesn't have to be this one. You can pick another one. Media you've consumed that positively impacted you in your journey. So many. I know. It doesn't have to be all of them. It could be like a book or a
major book that
podcast.
helped within family and my kids was Extreme Ownership. And Jocko Willink does a kids book series that is the same concept of extreme ownership. And my kids do jujitsu, so it's like goes hand in hand. And they learned a lot from him. And stuff I use in business, stuff Thad uses with his father too, like trying to teach him extreme ownership. I think it's made a pivotal movement in all aspects of our life, not just business.
I love it.
You have another
See,
you have a
waiting
podcast
for
or
me?
something?
Huh?
As far as one that influenced me business wise, I mean, I'm basically the ownership concept, that whole thing. I'm totally with you, and it's how we also do this series with our kids as they grow up called Love and Logic, which is basically extreme ownership recycled into a kid's love and logic. Is basically just responsibility and don't make idle threats, just follow through.
Well,
And
your actions, the consequences
Yeah.
are your consequences. Like, oh, you didn't make your bed. Well, I'm sorry, I'm going to take away your game time. It's not like you're punished forever. It's like you decide what the consequences are.
Yeah.
And always giving the kids choices. Don't tell them what to do. Say you can either go to bed in 10 minutes or go to bed right now. Which one do you choose? And that way, there's no fight in 10 minutes. So choose the 10 minutes. And then you chose it, go to bed. So it's just always giving them two options, both options you're completely fine with. And as they're little kids, you're like, do you want to put your right sock on first or your left sock? If they're just sitting there and not getting dressed and crying and won't do anything, throwing a fit. If you give them the authority to choose, it gives them back power. And so like, oh, I'll put in my right sock. And then they start getting dressed. So it's just the idea of making them feel empowered, even when you still have all the power. And Thad's used this on me before, too. He said with palmitos, he's like, Jodi, you can have one palmito can or two.
I can
Help what? I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Palmitos.
no one knows what palmitos are.
They're palm tree hearts.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
I consume a lot of books and podcasts and audio that is, I would say, isn't related to business at all. Like history podcasts, debate podcasts.
Yeah.
I totally geek out on listening to debates, whether it's religious, flat Earth, whatever. I enjoy listening to them, and I listen to nutrition stuff. But nothing I would say that it would be super interesting for the listeners here.
No, okay, no, yeah, it's all right, good, man. I mean, honestly, it's. I think if we're not investing in ourselves, we can't really invest in anything else, right? The cup needs to overflow with, right? And so you can't give from something you don't have. So I love that you're investing in all these different things, and at the end of the day, it helps you with building relationships, because now you can talk to somebody that has this point of view and that point of view, and you got connecting, right? So I love it. It's all relatable. Love it.
You know what you totally forgot was Rob Wolf's The Paleo Solution and Wired to Eat. That totally shifted our nutritional perspective to a more ancestral view, I would say.
But it didn't change because we already had it when we went into the fitness businesses. But like he is one guy that changed our whole perception of what is nutrition and
Mark Sisson and his
evolutionary health, basically, like thinking about what makes sense. And like after you read them, you're like, well, duh, like why didn't I ever even think about that or connect those dots? So that was a big one too.
I love that stuff. It's not so common sense, right? But it is. It's like,
why not look at our evolutionary and genetic history and see what we could.
And he wrote a great one called Wired to Eat too, which is again based on our hormones and why we do what we do. Like why whenever we're full do we still crave dessert when they bring it out to us, but we don't want any more chicken. But the brownie, oh yeah, we got room for that. And it's all deals with our ancestral roots, which is pretty it's fascinating for Thad and I anyway.
Yeah, best thing you could do is sit under a tree and eat a ton of carbs and rest as much as possible.
All right. That's easy.
Unfortunately, we have the same DNA as our ancestors. We no longer need to sit under a tree.
Right. No,
Rest.
we can't. It's amazing the strides that we've gone through now. Everything's moving so fast.
Yeah, where our hormones are trying to keep us alive, but we don't need to survive right now. We have abundance.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it's now working against us.
Yeah.
And
So we
just
gotta-
having people, and I did a seminar with our members on it too, just kind of getting them aware of these ideas. And it's like, it's not your fault. You don't need to feel ashamed. This is how you're wired. Just understand it and try to make an alternate choice instead. And just it's slowly giving them that education to where they don't have to feel ashamed of these choices. Realize it's your body trying to get you to survive in a time where you don't need to survive. So that was a big one.
I'll tell you what, I actually took on, for me, one of the guys that helped me, his name's Matt Chernard, and he was a mindset coach for me, and he helped me kind of, help me with goals as well, but also if I, faltered and messed up, it's okay. Like, listen, we're going to get back on there, and it's not about, you have to, like in September, I lost 10 pounds and lost 3 inches. That was great. But now it's just maintaining and keeping that up and going through it and being okay to take a break, and it's all good. No, it's great. I love that you guys do that with your clients. It's so good. All right, this became like a little slower. We got a little slower on the 5, or we got 2 more. I love the last 2 is your favorite online tool. I know Thad's got something ready for me here. And Jodi's thinking about that. You can't say review biz. You can't say that. That's not allowed.
Well, for the business, ours that we use every day that's fantastic is Fit Pro Tracker from Antonio.
That's right.
But I think
Yep.
for life-wise, though, for me, my personal, it'd be the Google Suite. Like I do everything with my Google Calendar.
Yeah.
Everything with the drives, with the Teams. Everything's in the cloud, so we can sync it up. And then we use Slack for our business. So those are like my 3 main ones.
Yeah.
I love Slack. So you're all your clubs Slack?
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Yep.
Love that. Okay, cool.
We used to do Facebook Messenger. I'm like, I don't want to be on Facebook.
No.
I don't want them to have to open their personal page.
And it's
either.
free. Like Slack's free, guys.
Yeah.
Go get it.
Yeah.
It's so simple. That?
Magisto, I like that for quick music videos for gym members. Do anniversary videos. It does auto editing. I used to spend hours and hours just to make a video with snazzy music and cool transitions. And as long as that's all you need is snazzy music and cool transitions, just click it, auto, do a little bit of editing, done.
Wow.
So I use that, and all the stock, all the royalty-free footage you can use. So I definitely like that one.
I didn't know that one. That's great.
Canva. Totally use
Yeah,
it.
Canva's great. Canva's gotten better into their video editing
really?
feature. Yeah, check it out.
didn't know-
It's
I
pretty
didn't know
cool.
that.
And now they're doing an AI. Everything's now AI. So you can actually just type something and it'll create an image for you.
Oh, I've messed around with the DALL-E 2.0 and stuff. That's insane. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's wild. It's so crazy. AI is getting into everything. All right. Let's see what the last one is. What's one habit or practice that you believe that everybody would benefit from?
Go outside.
Yeah, I love that. No, that's
Wow.
so real. It's simple, but it's so true in this day and age. Everything's moving so fast, and especially with the kids, go outside. Love that. Jody?
I don't know if mine's a habit, but sleep. I think everyone's so sleep deprived and no one prioritizes sleep for body composition goals or just hormone health or just health in general. It's always the back burner. I'll sleep when I'm dead. And I don't think anyone realizes exactly what happens during sleep and how pivotal deep, good quality sleep is.
You literally can have depression. Your body's not going to recuperate. It's your circadian rhythm with your partner, your relationship. It can take everything out of whack with your sleep.
Yeah.
It's so underrated. Jody, you're so right. It's sleep is so important.
I think those two go hand, like the sleep and the sunshine. As long as you get that sun, the photons in the eyeballs and skin to create vitamin D, all that good stuff, and then get good sleep. Like those two things, you're already halfway to your body composition goals. Like people don't realize the sleep's where it's at.
Right? I think it's cool. It's like, listen, get in the gym, reach some goals. Don't make them so crazy. Like, I gotta lose 100 pounds. No, like just gain some goals and get going and move the needle, and then get some good habits of sleeping, get some good habits of going outside. It's so true, so good.
And most people could benefit without even a strict diet plan, could have tons of benefits by just eating real food and scrapping sugar from their diet. They'd probably, I'm not, no calorie counting, just eat real whole foods, be sure your protein's up, and you're probably gonna, unless your metabolism is just totally wrecked, but, or have some other issue, but yeah, real food.
Exactly right. Seek a doctor if there is something going on, right?
Yeah.
Please, as you're not getting the results that the experts are telling you to do when you do it. No, this is great. This has been so good. I literally love unpacking all the things that you guys have accomplished, are doing right now. I wish you guys the most success ever. I do have, if you had one piece of advice that you would go back to yourself 20 years ago, maybe you guys just got married, right? What would you tell each other?
Have more fun. It's all gonna
Have
work
more
out.
fun.
Don't
I
be
love it. Yeah.
Don't be so stressed.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of regrets. I'm trying to think of one.
Mine would just be to enjoy it more. It goes by so fast.
Yeah.
Like when
Yeah.
you think you're like sitting here trying to figure out what you've done, and like we've done a lot of things, and like it just went by like that. And
Wow.
my head's down so much that you sometimes forget to enjoy every step.
Yeah,
Very
and
fast.
it's tough when you're so headstrong in your 20s. That prefrontal cortex isn't quite developed yet,
True.
When I was in the military, I was so easily brainwashed.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I joined around the same time too. Yeah.
yeah, I joined in '98, and your brain requires a little bit of developing, but I can't say, along with what Jody said, just being mindful, trying to be mindful of yourself as you're moving forward with life, and because if you're not mindful about yourself and how you react to things, then you're never gonna create, I guess, mental habits to ever change out of how you are. So
Be mindful and enjoy the moment. I love that. You could take that and just go and do great things. I love it. Well, thank you so much, Thad and Jody. Appreciate that.
yeah.
Thank you for being on the show. As always, that was so good. Hiring for personality is rare, and Jody emphasizes hiring for personality and teaches her team the skills they need. It's so interesting to know that even when you buy a franchise, you still have to figure out systems for your unique blend of business. And of course you should, because it's your business. So I would love to hear from you what stood out for you mostly, and go ahead and drop me that comment on Instagram. You can also find me at Meet Esco on Instagram. All right. Also, if you need to do and you thought about someone while listening, go ahead and share this podcast with them. I want to thank you so much again for your time and attention in listening to our show. Remember to follow or subscribe if you still need to do so as well. Our next episode is going to be with Scott Ramage, and I can't wait to have you listen to our episode. I'll be seeing you next time in the Growth Zone.